Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Party Wipe episode 41, where we build a roguelike deck builder in Godot. How's it going? Hey, Rhiannon. I think we got some fun stuff on the schedule today. We gotta fix a problem that I created for myself yesterday, but I think we're also gonna work on maybe ideating some character abilities, some like spells and class abilities and stuff. Good stuff. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. Hey, Commander. How's it going? Let me get that co-working radio on here. How's it going, everybody? Well, welcome to Party Wipe. Got some coffee left here. It's going all right. That's good. That's good. All right, might not be good, but it's at least all right, all right, all right. Here is some of the conundrum we have to deal with here. I know, Godot. I know I closed the project with some errors. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I think it needs a minute. There we are. All right, so what I'm gonna do right now, just to get this going again, what I need to do is I just need to say card res and then card res dot equip slots 0. We're just gonna automatically revert to whatever the first equip slot is, but that is not gonna be our solution in the long run. I threw it in here, but we might actually need to do something else. Where is this function anyway? This is on card token added. That is not ideal. That is not ideal. All right, we might need to come up with a UI thing. Basically what we've done is we've added certain pieces of equipment that can go in more than one slot. Like a dagger, you could have it in your main hand or you could have it in your offhand. Previously, a lot of systems just worked because we chose just the one slot. There was only one slot to choose, so we just chose and we just put the card in the slot. So who can carry a splintered shillelagh? Oh, everyone can. Love to see it. So like we can put this in anyone's equipment. So we give the shillelagh to the wizard and we crash. Ah, here we go. Slots 0. That's going to happen a lot until I finish switching out the equipment slot property with the equipment slots plural property. So a spear. The highlighting's working though, which is nice. I'd like to see that. All right. Good to see you, Commander. Busy day today. What's everyone doing so busy? It's Saturday. Saturday. Gotta chill on Saturday. I might play How Many Dudes later. I bought it to support the dudes at Butterscotch. The game released 2 days ago, and they got 500 reviews in the first day. Now they're up to 750 reviews, holding steady at a 91% positive. That is so good to see. I'd say friend of the channel, but they don't know who I am, so We wish only the best for the Butterscotch Shenanigans team. The studio that made the best game that no one ever played, aka Levelhead. So good. Very inspiring, the 1-year development cycle for this game. It's really just all about appealing to a wide audience and making something happen. Building a game that is marketable. That's a lot of the inspiration behind this game. Obviously, I don't have the resources to do what they do, but I've been paying attention to them, especially their work with YouTube Shorts, which they credit with the explosion in wish lists they got. They launched with almost 300,000 wish lists, which is crazy. Parasocial friends of the channel. Yeah, exactly. I listened to him. Splintered Fiddle. All right, let's try to equip that. Splintered Fiddle. Some of these item names are too long. We have to keep an eye out for that. I do agree with... Someone told me that they think the hard hands are too low. I'm kind of in agreement with them on it. I don't know exactly what I want to do about it, though. So we can deploy. We're in deployment. We can equip. We can level up our character. I'm thinking about... Ooh. Here we go. If selected equip.equipres.equip slot. Selected equip.equipres.equip slot is not equal to equip. Interesting. Interesting. That's not exactly how I want this to work. Yeah, we don't want the res. We want the actual... Oh, which we're not recording this, are we? Which is why I have a to-do here. All right, this is what we need to work on. We need to work on these equipment slot problems. We need to be able to handle the possibility of equipping an item that could go in multiple slots, because abilities fit that exactly. And so we need like a little UI. We need some kind of hook in the UI that lets us do that, and I don't know what that's going to be yet. Yeah, this one's too long. Magic Wand apparently doesn't fit on the card. Unfortunate. Quite know what to do about that. I could move the line over slightly, maybe. I guess I'll try that. I tried to make it longer, but I think what I need to do is move it over. We'll try this, see if this works. Magic staff. Let's see how far we need to go with this. Magic wand. Come on, guys. Help me out. Please. I don't really want to move this over anymore. God damn it, nothing is working. I mean, admittedly, I don't necessarily have to say wand or magic wand, but that's what I'm doing for everything else, and I kind of want it to just work. Rusted axe. That fits on one line, huh? Okay, so now I'm fucking up the other ones. I have to think about what I'm going to do about this. Well, magic staff works, at least on the top. Magic wand does not. Now it's too wide, though, so now things like this is being put on one line. I probably need to put the qualifier on one line and the item name on another line. Probably what I need if I want to avoid that. Hey, Nanigans. Hey, Sapphire. How's it going, everybody? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do about this. Can move this over one more. Oh, well, that worked for staff, but that was already the case. Fishing rod works for fishing rod. Ignore the bottom of the card. I haven't changed that one yet. See if this actually works. Kite shield, fishing rod, magic orb. We're just going through the cards. Magic wand, you son of a bitch. Just refuses. Absolutely refuses to fit. I'll decide what I want to do about that. I'm low-key considering like a redesign of the cards. But I do like our cards. Well, maybe not that one. I am wasting a lot of space with the fun, like, upside down, reverse side thing. It's cute. It'd be better if I did something with it, though. Like, I could list the proficiency required for it on the bottom of the card. So it could be like splintered crossbow, and it could be like martial range or something like that. Or like simple range is probably what it would be. Simple ranged. And then like an ability could at the bottom say like knight's ability or something like that. I might do that. This goddamn splintered magic wand. Killing me here. I do think I think I do have to split them into separate lines, though. We're getting way too close on this side. I will probably center the text is probably what I will do to make this less of a problem. It's not the problem we're focused on right now, though. Problem we're focused on right now. You're taking it easy today? Good Nanigans. That's what it's for. It's the weekend. Sapphire, you got food cooking? Nice. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, what we need to do now, this like takes priority over everything else, is like we need to make it so if we have a weapon like this dagger. So a dagger could like be on any, could be on either your main hand or your offhand. And so what we need to do is we need to add, if you equip something that can be in either hand, we need to, after you drop it, we need to add a step where you choose which slot you want to put it in. We'll probably need to use the character slot for it. We need to go into like a different mode. It needs to almost interrupt. It actually needs to interrupt the process of playing the card, and then we need to like insert this like you pick the slot. That's what we need to do. Hey, Lost Sleep Games. How's it going? Happy Saturday. So where are we going to insert this interrupt? I'm thinking we need to do it here. On card tokens spent. Bit of a conundrum because we actually, when we preview the card, we actually need to maybe change how the card preview works, but let's not worry about that for now. For now, what we'll worry about is this branch, which is card res, is equip card. So the card token has been spent. The card is somewhere. Card is, at the moment you lift up your mouse, the card is under your mouse. So my problem is that the character sheet is not over the card. So we can't really interact with the character sheet at that point. So add equip card. I don't like this. I don't like this because it's possible that you might back out of this. Like maybe you click somewhere that's not valid or something. And it's like, how do you do it? Is there going to be a button? Do you have to like click the button for that equipment? Which the answer is probably. It's just a little annoying. Okay, so what we got here is we got the card. We've got a number of equipment slots. We need a branch here that can handle a piece of equipment that has multiple slots. Right now we're just like hard-coded to 0. So this handles replacing that piece of equipment. When do we move the card? It's probably here. Equip page, not equip card. Problem is we need to kind of wait. We need to wait for the character to pick the equipment slot they want to put this equipment in. My eye itches. I'm trying not to touch it. I've like scratched my eyelid. It's like slightly inflamed and it's like, do you want to scratch it some more? And I'm like, I don't. They're like, but it would feel good. And I'm like, would it in the long run? But the temptation is strong. Hey, Footlong Icicle. Love these Godot emotes here. They're from Hypnotic's channel. Man, Hypnotic has some good emotes. How's it going? Happy Saturday. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do here. It's a flow that I really don't like. And it kind of depends on... So here's the trick. Here's the trick. The trick about this is like... I've got my card. The card is under the mouse when it's being dragged, which makes sense. But you can't actually interact with the rest of the UI like this because the card is like in the way. It's like in the way. And it will actually prevent you from interacting with anything else. So if we do this, and this can this is a terrible example because it's a hammer, but if it was something that could be in the main hand or the offhand, I guess like this dagger. A good example is the dagger. So I could put it in my main hand or the offhand. I don't want to choose automatically. I want to give the player a choice. And I don't know how to do that. One thing we could do, we could do something on the board. We could pop up some kind of choice that we can interpret on the game board of oh, do you want this in your main hand or your left or your right hand? Well, what I would prefer is if I just drop the card and now I choose. But from a flow standpoint, that's really bad, because what happens if you don't choose, right? The card is not here anymore because the card has been put in the main equipment page. So the card is here on this thing. But you could have had it here, but it could have also been here. It could have also been in our offhand slot. Shenanigans, you've learned that whenever you have anything that's bothering your eye, just oh yeah. It's tough. It's tough. The itch that you cannot scratch is tough. I don't know where to do this. I was tempted to have a thing that would pop up and it would be choose one or the other. But the problem is, for abilities, there's 5 ability slots. And we already have the character sheet here, so we should use the character sheet, right? We should use this. Absolutely, we should use this. Problem is the default behavior that we do. Yeah, this isn't going to work because it's trying to read that. What it should do is that. I'm just generally unhappy with any of the choices I have at this point. Oh, this thinks this is a main hand weapon. I guess a loot could be a main hand, but we're going to make it offhand. Loot. I'd say we could avoid this by just not allowing equipment that could be in multiple different hand slots, but that's not tenable because at the end of the day, those 5 ability slots needs a solution like this too, so we might as well solve this in both cases. Oh, can I select these in here? Oh, sick. Man, this plugin is so good. Didn't realize I could do that with just the enums, the drop downs. Okay, I can't do it with this one. There is no editor for this type of cell. Oh, because it's an array. That makes sense. So we need a solution to this problem. I would love to just solve it by not solving it. That's my favorite way to solve something. It's just not. Let's just remove the problem. Hey Arneo, how would it look? How would it flow if you dragged it to a dude? It pops open the sheet and you can keep dragging into a slot there. That we cannot do. That would be my ideal. What we could maybe do is hide the card somewhere and have another kind of token that pops around the character sheet. That's probably what we need to do, is get people used to that kind of a flow. Goddamn magic wand. Make me question my whole structure for these cards. Like, what we should do is, like, you do this. And then you drop the card, and now you pick which of these it is. But, like, you could do something, you could go somewhere else and do something else, and it's not obvious. But the reason we can't do that is because of the cards. Why can't I go back? Oh, because our get card at thing doesn't work. Oh, we're gonna have to fix that. I made a lot of changes. Problem is the card is under the mouse as long as you're clicking. It's hidden when you're in like this state, but it's still there, and it prevents you from interacting with the UI, really. So we would need to find some kind of like, we need to find, I need to make this part of one action. So I think I want something that pops up here. Before you let up the mouse, I want something that pops up here and it shows you like the slots you could put it in. I just don't know. It would be great if it turned into a little square. That's just not... Like, I can tell where the card is on the environment map because I'm just reading the mouse position. But I can't do any of the normal UI flow like this. Because the card eats the input. So the most straightforward thing to do would be you release, and now you pick where it is. But that's not good because a lot of stuff has occurred when you release the mouse. Like, if I already had something in my offhand, it's now discarded. Like, it needs to be part of the drag and drop. And I guess I just have to choose where in the drag and drop phase I want to do it. It doesn't always need to pop up, just when there's more than one. So yeah, I'm thinking if I do this and then I pop something up here, it can't be a UI. It would need to be something that listens to the environment map. But we could do something like we could pop up all of the... We could either pop up a list to the right or something, or a list above, or we could even do like a cross shape around the character or something. We need some kind of radial menu thing that pops out. So like, and it kind of pops up out of the character. So it's like if I put it over this wizard, it'd like pop up the two slots that it could occupy. And then you can move it to that one. Maybe what it would be is the main hand is this one, and then it would pop up an offhand. And you could swap it to the offhand. That kind of makes me want to put in some little figures so that when I do this, if I do this, these characters should maybe their icon should swap to whatever their, like if this is a main hand item, maybe their icon should swap to whatever their current main hand item is if they have one. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we should only do that when we get to here. So when we get to here and we place it, then we can pop up another little box next to it that has their offhand. And I can use a token for that. I think from our very particular list of constraints, I think that's the only option that I like. That's like part of like one interaction. This splintered magic wand thing is driving me insane. I could change the size of the cards slightly, but I don't really want to do that. I wish the like watermark looked better for all the characters, but I have an alternative idea for that. Where's the text? Oh, I guess I'll just count. Well, maybe I should count here. So what is this? Is this 1, 2, 3, 4? So this should at least be here. And then we can let it go to here, I guess. Just, it's not really what I want. You know what I'll do is let's do this and let's try to center it, maybe. I didn't really want these to be centered because that is not as nice for the card overlap. But visually it looks okay, I guess. It's left aligned looks better. But maybe it would look fine when we have the other... when we change the bottom of the card to not say the name upside down, but instead to say, like, the proficiency type. I don't know. I'm still not sold on, like, the class-based proficiencies. It would be easier for the player to remember them, but it would also lead to a lot more overlap. And I don't like the overlap, because I feel like it would be too strong. I've kind of thought of a way around that to an extent, where I'm thinking about making it so that a character cannot equip equipment that's higher level than it. So, like, if you have a level 1 character, you can't just put, like, a level 3 sword on them. To provide, like, another reason why, like, no, you have to level up your characters. Otherwise, I think the items are going to get too strong. What was I doing? I'm trying to see if the... I know I haven't fixed the splintered wand thing yet. I'm just curious. No. Staff is fine. There's too many cards now. I put too many cards in the starting deck. Nope, still not long enough. Okay. Try our best here. Still no? What the f... How large does this need to be? Magic wand is clearly just too long a word. I might just say mage wand, but then... I don't like... That doesn't sound like... That sounds like broken English, kind of. Which is not the worst, but... Magic staff, magic wand. Okay, so it will fit here, but it's like... This is gross. It's absolutely gross. It's like right up at the edge. Can I go back one? Will it still work? I'm not happy with this, but I might accept it. Nope. Okay, that's the difference. There's like a 1 pixel difference here. That's a huge problem. We could do like this though. We could do left alignment still, maybe. No, can't do left alignment anymore. I guess I have to take the word magic out of it. I don't think there's another way around this. Unless I want to change a lot about how this works. And I really don't like the center alignment. Like with the way the cards overlap, center alignment was really bad. It's much harder to read the card. Magic wand, well, it fits. Alright, so how are we going to do this little token thing? How are we going to spawn a token on the map next to... We'll have to rebuild that boundary array or something. So what we'll need to have happen... Put this back to left aligned. Well, I don't know. We're just going to accept that the cards are kind of broken right now. I'm going to put this back to where it's supposed to be, which is like this. Okay, so let's start with this, because this I know, I understand. This is something I want to do, which is like when we put the axe on a card like this, I want to hide the other. I want to remove that other outlined, like the outline over the knight, once it's on the archer, and then if I go off, it can send that away. Excuse me. How are we gonna do that though? From a practical standpoint. But that is what we need to start with. Yeah, I like this plan because the most slots a character might put like an ability is 5. So what we can do is we can have the first slot be the slot over the actual character, and then we can just do 1 at each of the adjacent spots. That should be fine. Hey, Magoo, how's it going? Happy Saturday. It's been a minute. How are you doing? Hope everyone's having a good weekend here. Okay, yeah. So the general thing we want to fix. Okay, that's back to being an offhand item. The dreaded loot. Splintered loot. So yeah, what we want to do is in a case where multiple characters can equip something, what we want, ooh, yeah, we don't want that. Whatever's going on there. We actually want to remove the other spots and then put it back. Yeah, okay. I wonder if that'll work the way I think it'll work. Yeah, let's work on that. I know when that happens, so we know where to intervene. That happens on card token added. You would have been proud, Magoo. Nix was like, hey, CA2 software is streaming. We should raid them. We had already picked another raid target, but I had to do a double take. I was like, oh, is Magoo here? But no, Nix was representing. I was like, CA2 is always streaming. Oh, speak of someone I haven't seen in a minute. How's it going, Bad Cop? How's that East Coast summer treating you? Still out there? Oh, the full name, Bad Cop _. Hey, Benton, how's it going? Welcome back. Food's ready? All right. Have a good food, Sapphire. Take it easy. All right, what did I say I was doing? We were going to on card token added. Oh, which actually doesn't happen here. This would actually be way up here. Tick, tick, tick. Talk, talk, talk. I'm all right. We're dealing with some annoying technical and UI decisions, which always annoys me, but you know, we're working through them. All right, if marked figs is empty. Oh, do we remember the marked figs? That helps, actually. This should be an array of figures. Oh, but that's only for hero cards. Wait, why? No, it's not. That's not only for hero cards. We use this other places too, don't we? Card res is equip card. Yes. If fig hovered. So if there's already a figure hovered. This might cause us problems. But let's work on this branch first, because I think this is the correct branch. Some complicated shit. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, we're trying to solve an annoying UI problem that we have a lot of constraints, which is making it not trivial to solve. Bad copy melt. Yeah, I could not. You can't comprehend my noggin not being able to not have comments. Comments don't help. Comments do not help. Comments are for other people. I'm okay writing comments with a module is done or a feature is done, and you're like, I'm done working on this. I'm gonna write some comments so that when I come back 6 months from now, I remember how the code works. But like, even that in my mind is not optimal. I certainly won't write comments while I'm working on something unless I put in a to-do or a warning. I'll put to-dos and warnings and stuff of like, this doesn't work the way that you think it does. Yeah. Tires are melting to the roads where you are. Ugh, that's horrible. You only just started to learn program 3 days ago? Oh, nice. What are you learning? I mean, I'd like to think Godot, but you know, whatever works for you. Fig by Tile has... So we're looking at this branch, right? I'm in the right branch? Yes. Maybe. So if fig by tile has and marked figs has, we do this. Move line layer. Move line layer. We're just clearing that, right? If not card token. Card.modulate. Card token. So this is when we add a card token. Okay, okay. This is kind of the right area. This might work. Move line layer dot set cell cursor map inbound tile inbounds tile. Okay. If not card token dot position map to local. Fig hovered is this. So now what we want to do here. I need to figure out how we set the bound tiles in this case. Else. Who sets the bound tiles? That's like what I really want to know. Where are we doing that? Input.card dragged. Card was a 0 card. No. Left card is this. Like, where are we setting our fun tile map layer? Where are we setting this tile map layer, right? This one. This one. Where are we setting this? So what I'm trying to do is I don't want to show all of these highlight once we pick one. When we pick one, we should just collapse that layer. That's the first step to doing this UI change I want. CA2 is playing piano. Oh, that's cool. Shenanigans. Spending most comments just make things harder to read and understand. More work. Yeah, my problem is the accuracy and keeping them up to date. Exactly. You're learning Python? Nice, nice. You'll be well positioned to pick up Godot if you want, because Godot GDScript is very superficially very much like Python in terms of its appearance. I think the underlying implementation is a bit different, but... Alright, so I'm not actually sure how we do this. Maybe this is on card dragged. That's probably what we're doing. It's on card dragged. Let's look at that. Card dragged. Fig hovered. Marked figs. If not, marks dot is empty. Marks dot have. Bound tiles. Yes. This is what we're doing. So this is great because we hold on to the marked figs list, so we can actually clear the bound tiles and not have any consequences. I think this will work the way I want it to. We'll need a transition on a couple other branches to restore the other state, but we can at least get things going like this. So we can say bound tiles dot clear. And we can say bound tiles dot append cursor map. Let's see if that at least gets us on our way here. You find it a lot better to be descriptive and explicit about the names of variables and stuff. No, exactly. Comments is like, if you need comments, you could have probably been more explicit about the way you wrote your code. Like, I'd much rather have I'd much rather just explicitly name my variables and functions and stuff. That might make the code, you know, bigger, so I can't just do my single letter, like everything is an abbreviation and nothing means anything. It's harder to do that. That almost more needs the comments. Hey, okay, so we did what I want here, but we're not going back. So we need a way to go back. Which is fine. So what we can do is we can say, here we can say, I don't totally understand this branch. I guess this is where already over a figure. I guess that's fine. Say bound tiles dot clear. We're gonna say we're gonna say if marked figs dot is empty, if not marked figs dot is empty. I do like how GDScript makes it easy to write in more plain English syntax than some other programming languages, which helps. No, I agree, Arnie. I think the one appropriate case of using comments is like, well, two. One is like there are other people on the project who don't think like the way you think. And then two, actually, I guess that collapses to the same case. It's like, how do you come back to the code when it's not in your working memory anymore and know how it functions? And it's like, hopefully it's written in a way that it's just obvious. But if it's not, if you're trying to write some code for some comments for your teammates or for future you, I'm okay with that. I don't do it. But that's because I'm a glutton for punishment. So if not marked figs dot is empty, we can say for each fig marked figs, we can say bound tiles dot append fig dot character tile. I think this is what we want to do. Or no, this isn't right. This is what we want to do. We want to do this down here. And then up here, what we want to do is we just want to have one. We just want to say fig hovered dot character tile. This should give me the behavior I want. All right. God, this stupid. Wait, why is this? Why is this shifted down? What's going on? What's going on here? What did I do here? Vertical alignment. Oh, this one should be bottom. Oh, wait, no. What? Oh, top. What's happening there? Why? Okay, I'm not gonna worry about that. We need to reorganize that to an extent and either rename stuff or move things around a little. Can you have a grenade? Oh, the wizard can have grenades too. Okay, grenades are worth adding then. So yeah, so this is so you can kind of see what's happening here. This is kind of what I want. I'm interested in what happens if they're next to each other. Crash. Tiles.append. Fig hovered. If fig hovered is null. Wait. If fig hovered, if fig by tile has cursor map, if fig hovered is not equal to fig by tile. If fig hovered, fig by tile has cursor map. Rewind layer fig hovered character tile outbounds. Q free. Oh, this isn't an else. Oh, okay. Never mind. I was like, well, how do I plan on doing this then? That's why. Who can have crossbows? You two can? Okay, yeah, this is what I want. I want the highlight to go away. This might actually work. This might actually work. I think what we're gonna do is if you're like pulling out like a dagger or something that can go in multiple spots, it'll just a new token spot on the right will show up. And we'll mark that tile. And so there will be just a spot for the main hand and the offhand. I wonder if it'd be worth doing one on the left and one on the right, and like you choose which one. Bop, bop. That might actually be kind of sick. We did that. So our options are to either have the main underneath the character, or to have it be like off to the left. Or the right. So you could have the left hand slot, or the main hand slot be on the left side here, and the right and the offhand slot be on the right side here. Oh, yeah, the famous code comment. I do not know what this does. I do not change it. Yeah, that's funny. I'm basically okay with GDScript comments if you're writing like documentation. I think that's the one time I'm okay. Or to-dos and warns. And like warnings. To-dos and warnings. Doc comments. Doc comments is what one should be doing. I've done it before when I've been like properly trying to build a module. But I usually am not properly trying to build a module. Usually I'm just trying to build code that works. All right, how do I feel about... No, I don't think I'm going to do the thing I said with like the main hand slot on the left and the offhand slot on the right. I think I'm just going to, because the vast majority of cases, there isn't going to be a choice. The first choice should always be the one overlapping with the character. And then if there's additional choices, we'll do a little radial. We'll do a little radial thing. And that covers all of the cases of the game. Because it's the vast majority are going to be 1. A few of them are going to be 2. And the rest of them are going to be up to 5. Depending on how many slots are unlocked. So that'll also matter. How many slots are unlocked. And the radial will just fill out if all 5 slots are unlocked. I think that'll be nice. I think that'll be all right. I just want you to decide if should it be up for the first alternate, or should it be to the right or the left? I'm tempted to do right, but north might make more sense. Rather than east. Welcome back from the ads. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Happy Saturday. Yeah, if your signal emit is not well named enough that you can tell where the signal is emitting to, that's maybe a problem. That might be a problem. I take the Jonas Tyroller like modular game programming approach, which is like inside any given module can be a horrible, huge mess of unreadable spaghetti, but the connections between the modules need to be really, really good. They need to be very clear. They need to be well defined. They need to hide all of the complexity within the module itself. I'm of that school, which is why I'm okay having my environment map with this gross giant input processing if else branch, because it's in one place and it very clearly and cleanly signals out to anyone else that needs to be concerned about anything that's occurring here. So we can do the thing that I described. What I need to do now is I need a mechanism for figuring out if the item we are placing has more than one slot associated with it. Actually, who needs to do that? Well, this needs to do it to a little bit, because we need to potentially mark. We need to mark the figs. And we need to eventually start putting some tokens back down here. I wonder whose job that's going to be. I guess that also should happen here, probably. But pretty much just here. Just here. Only here. So if it's only happening here, what we need to do is we need to say if card res dot equip slots dot size is greater than 1. So if it's greater than 1, then we need to do this. So if we're talking about abilities, we need to do this a little bit different. So let's not worry about abilities yet, because that's part of what we're going to work on today, is brainstorming some ability cards. I have some in mind, but I want to talk about some more. So what we need to do, if the equipment slots dot size is greater than 1, what we need to do is we need to I'm just going to assume the case is 2 for right now, because that's fine. I'll say cursor map. I wonder if this is going to be a problem in terms of maximum, exceeding the boundary of the map. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but, you know, you never say never. Vector 2i dot right. So this is what we're going to try. We're going to see if this looks good. I think it might look cool. Or at least it should work. So let's find a card like a dagger. What else can go in multiple slots? It's the dagger. There's one other one, and I don't remember what it is. What could you realistically wield in your main or your offhand, and it wouldn't really matter? Wait, why am I asking? Why don't I just look at the registry? I could even sort this, and it would make it even easier. There's this one, dagger. That's one. Where's the other one? Oh, a grenade. Yes. Grenade. It's a good choice. You know, honestly, the loot, the musical instruments should also probably be able to go in multiple hands. Actually, the fiddle is maybe a two-handed instrument, isn't it? I guess they both are two-handed instruments, aren't they? But I don't really like that. I don't actually want to do that. But they realistically should be. Who cares? It's my game. I can do what I want. We'll approach that. We'll reapproach that at some future point when I care to. So grenade, here's a good option. So this should give us an additional slot on the right. Okay, so yeah, this is what we're talking about. So because we can't do this with the UI, oh, we do need an extra hook to know when we've left the bounds. Because realistically, what we want to do is now that we've got this set up, we want to do a couple things. One is we want to put an icon of the offhand slot for the character. As well as we actually want to put down an icon for the main hand slot too. And then so now you could, once you've done this, you can pick which slot, either the left slot or the right slot. Right now, it's not recognizing that, and it's just popping us back out. But that's the next thing to do, is to get it to recognize when we've got this kind of dual choice kind of thing. You know, it's like this in every RPG game, but isn't a grenade in your offhand kind of weird? Nobody would throw a grenade with their non-dominant hand. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I don't really think of it in those terms, but that's a good way to think about it. I think about the offhand as being... The main hand is like your mainstay, which is like the thing you're mostly using. And the offhand is more of like what's a more situational or like backup kind of weapon that you can realistically wield. But yeah, it's a good point. I was thinking about that because we have our Plague Doctor character who will probably just have a grenade in each hand. I kind of need more for the Plague Doctor. I haven't really thought of their character very clearly. I kind of want them to have some abilities that just manufacture grenades. I think grenades are going to be very strong, but I also think they're going to be like disposable, so they get discarded when you use them. Not trashed, just discarded. I don't know if we're gonna have cards that truly get exhausted. I think our version of consumables will just be the card is discarded back into your deck. Because otherwise there's no way you can like level them up. Oh, I've been playing Shroom and Gloom. I think we talked about it yesterday. I want to play some more of that today. Only the demo is out, but I think only the demo is out. Yeah, it comes out in September, I think. Man, that is a cool card game. Made me a little nauseous until I turned off the camera look. The camera look at cursor in combat. Alright, so we can add this tile, but the trick is now we need to change some of our checks here. So when we're dragging a card, not when we're dragging a card, when we're in process. No, when we are dragging a card. So if marked figs dot is empty, if depth zone dot had, this is wrong. This is wrong, but I'm gonna fix that later. else. Oh, that's if a card is a hero card. So if a card is an equipment card, if fig hovered, no. So we are in this other branch. If fig by tile.has, no. We have to change the checks here a little bit. We can say, so instead of fig by tile, fig hovered case is a little fucked up right now. I have to figure out how we're going to fix that, but that's okay. So we can say if fig by tile has cursor map and marked figs dot has fig by tile cursor map. We could add another state, so we could be like, we could record like, we could say something like slot select. Like if we're in this slot select state or something, equals true. And then we could have this thing where it says, we could insert a check here. Do I need to know if I'm in this state? I probably do, because the trick for us, because we're having this like extra slot spawn, or this extra little slot icon next to the character that you're hovered over, if there is a character there, we need to not accidentally retarget that character. We need to like know that we're in this different radial state. So we do need some kind of like slot selecting state. Call it like selecting slot bool. And we'll use this as like an override so that we don't do the normal behavior, which would mess us up. Okay, so if we're selecting our slot, where do we intervene? Probably at the top. We probably just have a totally different branch. We can say if selecting slot. So we're selecting our slot. All we really want to know is if bound tiles dot has cursor map. That's really all we care about. So if we're selecting our slot and bound tiles dot has the cursor map, how do I know which slot is which? I guess I can make an association. I guess I have to. I guess what I need to do is maybe make a token. I guess we'll use the tokens. So we have card tokens. We are coming up with a concept of figure tokens. So we could also have equip tokens, which are just temporary visual elements that happen to be little sprites that we can at least, we know where they are. Not equip slot, equip tokens. We need like equip by tile. You can just say equip tokens. Dictionary. don't think we actually need to know. We can say vector 2i, and we can say equip token, which doesn't exist, so that's something we have to make. So we'll do that real quick. MBD. We could, I guess I'm doing this stuff. We could try to start thinking about some ability, some character abilities. I've only got a couple in my mind. Hey, Code Jesters, thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a happy Saturday here. I've only got a few ideas. I'm struggling to, like, mine the, you know, great set of D&D inspiration, because all of the stuff from there is, like, based on randomization and chance. And it's a little tricky because we don't have that. Everything in our game is deterministic and, like, whole number integers and, like, so there's no point in being like, Bardic Inspiration gives you an extra D6 to whatever you do, right? Because, like, the D6 doesn't really, we don't really roll things in this game. You could, if you really wanted to. I don't really want to do that because I'm taking more of, like, an Into the Breach approach to the turn-based combat. So I want it to be more of, like, you know what's going to happen next turn, and your job is to, like, mitigate it or, you know, capitalize on it or whatever. So we need it to think about it differently. So if we had Bardic Inspiration or whatever, it would need to be something else. It would need to be like, you could just give them a flat stat boost. Like Second Wind is an obvious one, right? The fighter's Second Wind, which is like get an extra like action. We could even make Second Wind crazy where it's like, well, I guess we don't want to do that. You could have it be like, maybe the first 3 levels of Second Wind gives you 1 extra action. But if you can get Second Wind to, like, well, and that's the other thing is, like, why would you level up your ability cards? There needs to be, like, a power curve. So our abilities need to have both a power curve and do things in a way that's very flat and predictable. And that there's, like, a conflict there somewhere. Still do something like Bardic Inspiration gives you a +1 damage. That's what I'm thinking. Is it would need to be something flat and something that can curve up as the card gets more rare. Second one in D&D is a self-healing ability. Action Surge is what gives you an extra action. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Rules Lawyer. Clearly, I've never played a fighter. I'm more of like a wizard / rogue kind of guy. I've played a barbarian. I do enjoy that. And like barbarian would be easy where you do like a rage where you're like, you take like 1 less damage anytime you take damage, something like that. Or like you take 1 less damage anytime you take damage for like the rest of the turn. So duration is something that would be interesting too, because we'll need some way of like recording status effects. It'll probably be tooltips. We're probably going to end up with a very, you know, Slay the Spire, like tiny little icons over everything that tell you what their statuses are, even though I really didn't want that. That's probably what we're going to end up with. So card tokens have a card and a tile. Equip tokens. Equip tokens need to record a slot and a tile. And they need an icon, which would be the slot image. Yeah. So for one thing, we need to go to the environment map. We need to go, so underneath the card tokens, but over the character figs, we need a new node. Called equip tokens. I could call them slot tokens too, but I don't love that. Actually, I guess I could call them slot tokens. That's kind of what they are, isn't it? They're not really tokens for the equipment. They're tokens for the equipped slot. So that's what we're going to call them. The slot token is going to have an equip card res dot slot, as well as a tile. And you need an on ready. I need to make a scene for this. Make a new scene. 2D scene. Like this. Slot token. And a sprite. Slot icon. But yeah, action surge is cool. I'm just like, we can't be like, each level of action surge gives you like an additional action. We could go maybe every 2 levels. So like level 1 and 2 give you 1 more action. Level 3 and 4 give you 2 actions. Level 5 and 6 give you 3 actions. But then it's like, why would you ever upgrade it to level 6 then? You just stop after 5. And like, I guess to an extent that would be okay. To an extent. But I really need to think about that curve and making it so that it makes sense to keep leveling up the ability cards. Like Knight's Move is an interesting example, which is like an ability I have an idea for the Knight, which is like the Knight can move, almost teleport. The Knight can move to a tile that's 1 Knight's Move away, right? That's like 2 up and 1 over. Or 1 over and or 2 over and 1 up or whatever. So it would just highlight all of the individual ones. And then we could do something where like now you could do an extended Knight's Move, which is like 3 up and 1 over or something like that. Just make the Knight like a very mobile but heavy character, but they need to use actions to like position themselves. I like that. But then it's like there's 6 levels, you know, for all these things. Could have the final upgrade be something like after playing, shuffle this card into your draw pile. If it's something that gets discarded, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Have take kind of the card upgrade kind of approach that you'll see in like Slay the Spire, where it'll be like it'll mitigate some. It'd mitigate some kind of negative effect of the card or something. That's not a terrible idea. How else do these tokens work? Slot token. I'll just store this here. I really need to organize things better. Oop. I'm like talking about this now because I'm like, I don't know, we're gonna actually have time to do this. Actually work on the abilities. But I said we were gonna brainstorm it, so I want to brainstorm. I want to think about these things. Because I do want to come up with at least 5 abilities for each of these starting characters. Because they have 5 slots. Eventually I'll want even more than 5, but abilities have cooldowns, or are they cards? They're cards, so you would equip the ability. The ability could have a cooldown. We could totally do that. And I think some abilities should. And in that case, maybe that's like the off-level advantage, right? Where it's like, if we do action surge, maybe every 2 levels increases the action surge by 1 action. So it's like 1 and 2 is, 1, 2 and 3 is 2, and then, not 2 and 3. 3 and 4 is 2, and then 5 and 6 is 3. And then it's like, well, why would you care about the odd numbered upgrade or the even numbered upgrade? And it's like, well, maybe there's a cooldown, and the even numbered upgrade like reduces the cooldown by 1 or something like that. That could be cool. We could do something like that. No pun intended. It's not a bad idea. But yeah, I have to map out these abilities such that they scale. So we can only really have ability cards that scale to some extent. So this has a ready function where we assign the texture to the card data's card icon. How am I going to do that? I guess we're going to need to plug in the icon directly. That's fine. Actually, what I should look at is I should look at the character figure, not the... Actually, no. Slot tokens don't need to be permanent. We just need... So, slot token is here. So we have this ready function. We also need an icon. You can take the C sharp out of the, you can take the programmer out of the C sharp, but you can't take the C sharp out of the programmer. We're gonna say slot icon dot texture equals icon. Easy. Okay, so those are the three things that we need to plug in when we initialize. I need to put a script on here. And then the environment map needs to know about these. These here somewhere. Just put them here. Oh, I have these already? One. Oh no, I can't use that. How are we halfway through the stream already? Time flies when you're having fun, huh? Alright, if bound tiles.has cursor map. So if card res, if selecting slot, if bound tiles.has cursor map. Now we need like a... Well, I need to prep. I need to do a little more prep first, so... Where's our problem? Oh, equip token doesn't exist. Slot token. That exists. I don't know if we need the fig by tile. Well, yeah, we do. Slot tokens, though, is fine. That doesn't really follow my naming convention, but you know what? You know what? I don't care. Make the code work before you make the code pretty. All right, so if we're selecting a slot, we can do all of this. What we need to do is we need to record in our dictionary. So we need to say slot tokens. Well, we need to go through each. Technically, what we need to do is we need to start iterating. But because we're not supporting abilities yet, I'll add a to-do here so that we remember. To-do. Add support for ability cards, which can be up to 5 slots. Which can support up to 5 slots. This is the kind of comment one should leave. It's the comment that's like, you didn't implement this feature yet. I do like that there's a small category of things that they syntax highlight. I forgot what else they syntax highlight. They do notes. I like notes and to-dos. I feel like there's some other ones they do. I don't know what the other ones are. I like notes and to-dos though, where you can be like, to do, I'm gonna fix this. Or note, I'm not fixing this. But it doesn't work the way you think it does. All right, so now we can say slot tokens, cursor map equals now here's the part where we need to like do some stuff. Oh, this needs to be under the if not card token branch, I think. Otherwise we're doing this like every frame. Which we can't. We cannot do this every frame. We'll do it down. We'll do it here. So move this whole thing here. So now what we need to do is we need to make these tokens. We can say variable, we can say main and slot. I don't know. We can say main. Main token is a slot token equals slot token dot instantiate. We can say main token dot. Okay, so now what we need to do is, this is where it gets annoying. This music, this song is like just redlined the whole thing. I love this weird like blown out audio aesthetic that for some reason is coming back. People are doing on purpose for some reason. Main token. So we need to set the icon, the slot, and the tile. Why are we able to move the card token? That's a little concerning. Actually, no, that's correct. So what I need to do is I actually need to scrutinize the character sheet that we are on. Fig by tile. So we know the character, fig. So we can say something like variable character sheet equals character manager dot get character sheet fig by tile cursor map. So we got the character sheet. Now we can say main token dot icon equals character sheet dot what's the best way to do this? We could just say main hand icon dot texture. We could say main token dot slot equals equip card res dot slot dot main hand. Say main token dot tile equals cursor map. We need to know about our slot tokens thing here. I don't really care what the order is. I care a little, but not that much. These don't need to be... Why are these... Why am I treating these as unique names? This is a flat hierarchy. I don't think I care about the unique name things. I do that prematurely a lot here. I just like, this is a unique name, and it's like, this is a flat hierarchy. I guess it's future-proofing it, so I just don't have to care. Slot tokens. Ah, that's why I don't name my dictionaries that way. I was like, why don't I name my dictionaries like this? Because it conflicts. So we'll say slot by tile. Not resolve external class member environment map. Well, that's strange, but okay. That's usually a sign that we have some kind of like hidden error somewhere. It's kind of weird. You know what I should have done? I should have taken my allergy meds. That would have helped with this itchy eye situation got going on here. I'll do that on the next ad break. Alright, so let's go back to doing this. Let's ignore this error here, which I don't understand why this is here. Like, what's your major malfunction here? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, main token icon, make on slot, cursor tile. So now we can say slot tokens. Oh, we need to set the position. Actually, whose job is that? I could realistically do that in... No, I gotta do that here. I'm gonna say slot tokens dot add child main token. There's probably a way I could do this differently with like signals, but you know, we have all the information available to us, so we might as well do it. Might as well do it. Main token dot position equals map to local. There's a map. All right, so that's the main token. So let's do the off token now. The offhand token. We're gonna have to clean up all of this stuff, which is gonna be annoying. It's okay. Luckily, this is similar to this way we already do stuff. Like, I like this token system. I find myself very often handling things in two very different ways. There's always like, to me, there's always the preview layer, which is like, here's something we're showing for the benefit of the player to give them feedback on what they're currently doing, but it's not committed. It's just like, this is a possible future. You could do this. You're on the way to doing this even. And then I like to have another state, which is like, this has been committed. This is there. And I like separating those very cleanly and clearly. That's the difference between like a character figure and like a token. Like, it's like the figure is there. It represents something that's actually there. And a token is like, it could be there. You could turn this in for like a permanent thing. That's kind of how I like that. I find I use that workflow a lot. Oh, it can't be the offhand icon dot texture. It has to be something else. It has to be the built-in. It needs to be from the character res. We need to pull it from the character res. Because I don't actually want to put in the... Actually, do I? I was like, I want to show the slot, not necessarily what's in the slot, but I actually do want to show, like, if you already have a weapon in your offhand, I would like it to show you that you do. I would like it to show it to you. Because then you can be like, that helps you make the decision of, do I want what's already there, or do I want to swap it out with this thing? So yeah, I actually do want that. Look at me accidentally doing the correct thing. Very unusual. You still get credit when you do the correct thing on accident. Because you didn't know. You didn't know I did it on accident. For all you know, I was doing it right the whole time. All right, now what do I need to do? I need to add these to a dictionary. To be like slot by tile. Is this worth doing when there's only one? No, I don't think so. Maybe though, actually. Now I'm tempted to implement my idea I had about showing the icon. Nah, Ignore me. All right, let's see if this kind of works. Dagger, perfect. Hey. So it shows the dagger on the main hand, but it also shows this arrow on the right, and the arrow is the offhand. So what I should be able to do is move my cursor over to the arrow, and it moves the dagger there. It's not how it works yet, but and here it does it with the loot. Here it does it with the magic orb slot. It doesn't clean itself up after, but that's fine. I know that's happening. All right, that's kind of what I want. I hate that it's this giant block here in the middle of nowhere, but you know. Well, if we find if we're doing something in multiple places, we'll encapsulate it and move it off somewhere, but for right now, that's fine. So what we need to do is we need to clean it up, though. So boundtiles.has cursor map. What we need to do is we need to say, we need to do this. Let's start with this part, which is all I really want to do at the moment. Selecting slot, if bound tiles has, what we need to do is we need to do an else, and we need to clean it up. This is going to get messy. That's okay. We're going to say for slot token. Slot tokens. All right, let's see if we can at least reposition the icon now. So we need to pull something that can go into multiple hands. These magic, these mage. Maybe I just switch magic to mage. Or magi. Magi is a word, so that works. Mage or magi? I don't know. We gotta do something that just doesn't fit on the card. Oh my god, give me a weapon. Give me a dagger. Give me a dagger that, here we go. Crash, okay. Wait, why? What? Why did you fail? Why did I even hit the else statement? Boundtiles.has cursor map. Oh, so can we say elif slot tokens dot get child count is greater than 0. That didn't work the way I thought it would. Oh, at least we drew a dagger straight up. Oh, I'm just bad is what I am. I always forget the get children part of the iterator. But I don't know why we're hitting that branch immediately, actually, is kind of my concern, really. You should not instantly be hitting that branch. There's a dagger. Yeah, why is it leaving the... It's part of the bound tiles, so like, why are you like this? Why are you like this? Okay, well that's the first problem to figure out. It is cleaning itself up though, which is good. So if selecting slot, oh, that's because this isn't an elif. This needs to be an elif. Actually, this needs to be worse than that. This needs to be else if. And then all of this needs to be one level deeper, which is frustrating, but we'll survive. That might have fixed it. Because I feel like what we're doing is we're clearing the bound tiles in that other branch. A grenade. Yeah, okay. But wait, why are there 2 of them? What the heck is going on here? There's a card token. Oh, because it thinks it's... Oh, it's stupid. Okay, I see a slight problem. We need to update the character sheet part. You see the character sheet has the grenade appear under the main hand. And so when I shift the grenade over to the offhand, it doesn't actually change the character sheet. How am I going to do that? I guess that needs to be a signal. Actually, it should be a signal. Because we do have direct access to the character sheet, but I don't actually want to do it that way, I don't think. Yeah, maybe we could do it that way. I've been doing so good about using signals and everything. And not directly, tightly coupling these things, but we're already kind of doing it. Oh, you know what? That's... Maybe that's a good argument to do it as part of the signal, is because we actually need to tell the... We need to tell the character sheet to go through a different process when we see an item that has multiple deployment slots. Because if it has only one slot, it like doesn't matter. What this version of it's fine. And in fact, if I give this bard a sword, and then I go back and I'm like, actually, I want you to have a fiddle, then it's good because it replaces the sword icon with a fiddle on the main hand, but it still shows you the slot so you can like think about it. If anything, what it should do is it should show you both. They should be next to each other. It should show you the thing that's already there, and it should probably show you the thing that you're going to swap it with, but I can't necessarily do that because I can't guarantee that that screen space is free. So I feel like this is better. What I can do is it can show you the old character sheet, and it can show you maybe the differential on the character sheet of like your attack goes up or your action goes down or whatever. I guess their attack wouldn't go up. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how I want to show that juxtaposition. But I do need to change it a little bit. Okay, mage and magi are apparently definitively not adjectives, so... Well, I guess it doesn't need to be, because yeah, I don't know. Magic wand would be better. We don't have space for that. I'm trying to think of an alternative. The whiz wand. I mean, a wand is inherently magical, I think, in terms of the way we think about it in this game. So, like, I don't think I need to have the word magic, but I am concerned about for the word staff or stave. We have a crook, which is like a non-magical staff, but I kind of wanted to distinguish it between the magical staff. And I don't have a good way of doing that yet. All right, so how are we going to change this other thing? You know, I did not think that this was just going to be like work on equipment slot stuff today, but you know, that's just what it is sometimes. So the problem right now is that when we pull this icon from the character sheet has already updated the icon. It's already updated its own icon. And we want to pull this before it does that, which means we actually need to do it up here. We either need to do it before the token gets emitted. Actually, why don't we just do that? Why don't we just do that? I don't really want it to be part of the signal because it's an edge case. But yeah, let's just do it up here. That's an easy solution, I feel. Because now we're going to pull the icon out before we've told the character sheet about the new item. And that should work. That should work the way I want it to, at least. Let's see. So we got a grenade. The wizard can equip the grenade in its main hand or its offhand. Hey, look at that. It's kind of probably hard to see on the stream because there's like, it's like a low contrast like slot that we're swapping around here. But so now we have built into the card drag like you can pick which slot. And for abilities, it'll just form up to a full cross shape, like up to a center option and then the 4 adjacent options. It'll be between 1 and 4. I think to the right is better than above, but above would be another option for the default. I kind of like to the right. That feels all right to me. No pun intended that time. Yeah, this is good. It fits our constraint of we can really only tell what the mouse is doing on the environment map. We can't really interact with the UI. What we do need to do is when you swap this, we do need to swap this in the character sheet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a card token moved. And then we'll just update it on the character sheet as well. Yeah, this is what we wanted. Okay, cool. I didn't think I was going to be able to sort this out in one session, but you know, sometimes it just... When you got it all in your head and you know how the system works, A, you don't need comments, and then B, sometimes you can just change stuff and it doesn't take 1,000 years. Sometimes it does feel like you're pulling on some kind of... You're pulling on this thread and you just keep pulling on the thread, and then eventually the whole sweater is unraveled and you still haven't got to the end of the thread. That is what it feels like sometimes. Oh yeah, I said I was going to do something real quick. I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out today. Give it up for the chair, who's always got my back. Thanks for the hydrate. Smooth in a second. LSG, don't forget your fingers. You can always count on them. True. True. We've got people over on the YouTube again today. Not as many as maybe yesterday, but it's Saturday. Saturday viewership is always a little lower. Hi, YouTube. You guys don't talk very much. I hope you're not all bots, but you know, I'm just happy to have you here. I do see you, and I appreciate you. Oh my god, smooth in a second. Pick a lane. No. Well, I appreciate the stat padding. Are you watching the YouTube because the content, because like the quality is better, but you're chatting in Twitch? Or are you just dodging ads? Is that what you're doing? Twitch faster, YouTube. Yeah, okay. Very funny. The timing. Whenever I call out YouTube, you always happen to be there. Very funny. But yeah, I appreciate you all lurking over there and hanging out with us. I do see the emote spam when people do it. I actually don't know what they call that. Reacting emotes? I don't know. All right. All right. So we're in good shape. What we need to do is we need this, we need to do a swap. So if we are in this branch, if Biome Tiles has cursor map, what we need to do somehow I kind of want to know if this has changed. I kind of don't want to send a signal every single frame. Actually, let's take a page out of the card dragged book. Because card dragged is not a bool, is it? It shouldn't be. Oh, I don't track it here, but I don't think it is. I think it's an actual card. So we do a null check. I'm going to do the same thing with the select slot. We're going to say selected slot, and we are going to record. We're going to record that. Actually, let's do the slot token. Let's go with the token rather than the actual slot itself. We need a way to, so what we can do is we can say selected slot is not equal to null. Here we can say selected slot is null. I much prefer to just have a payload rather than just have a bool somewhere. So selected slot here is going to be slot by tile cursor map. I guess by yeah, whatever, who cares? This is a more general purpose. So if fig by tile, if blah 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 blah. Okay, so now what we can do is we can say selected slot is not null. We can say if bound tiles.has cursor map. We can say, we can do this. We can move it. We can move the cursor position. Well, we don't need to necessarily do that. We can also say, we can say if bound tiles.has and, no, not and. Bound tiles.has. We can say if slot by tile cursor map is not equal to, so, well, let's do it in the other order. The selected slot is not equal to the slot by tile for the cursor map. That means we know we're in a new, we're over a different slot. We're over a different slot, and if we're over a different slot, excuse me, voice is failing me occasionally here. What we can do is we can say selected slot equals slot by tile cursor map. And then we can say now what we want to do is we want to say we want to send a signal. So we have card token added, card token freed, card token spent. We could say slot token moved, or we could say card token moved. Either one is valid. Actually, no, we don't want to do card token moved because it doesn't really matter. But can we actually provide the correct information that the character sheet would need? Let's see. And by a character sheet, I actually mean party manager. So the party manager, so on a card, so what we need to do if this moves is we actually need to update the character sheet display and then preview card token spent, card token. We're really interested in card token added. It's a character. So we preview the equip card is what we do. So we need to clean that up. We clean that up. And the way we clean that up is on card token freed. We update their display. So all we really need to do is update the display and then preview again. So we really don't need to do that as a signal. We don't need to, but I feel like that would be more consistent with how we behave elseways in other cases. And consistency is nice. We're kind of taking advantage of the fact that we have this like global that can give us a character sheet directly. Right now we're using it just to get information. We're not using it to like affect the character sheet at all, which I think is an appropriate use of it. So yeah, let's do a signal. I think that's a little overkill, but it's more consistent. Say slot token moved dot emit the selected slot. And then what we need to do is we need to connect these. The environment map and the party manager are so tightly coupled. I kind of wish I'd done something else, but you know, we went on that. We went back and forth on that so many times that we're just making do. I think we ended up with an okay. They're like peers. There are these peers that kind of signal back and forth to each other, and I think that's okay. I think that works out. Is it the best? No. Is it all right? I think so. All right, so when a slot token gets moved, what we need to do, it's actually pretty simple what we need to do. We can say if selected character. Actually, what we should do is if not selected character, we should probably just return because that's like bad. Actually, we should really crash if we don't have a selected character, so maybe we'll continue. Maybe we'll just do this. We're gonna say what we want to do is we want to say select a character dot update display. Now we want to say, although what does preview equip card take? Does it take the card? Because if it does, that's going to be a problem. Oh, it takes the resource. I don't actually have a copy of the resource. Okay. Is that something I'm going to add to the token then? Or is doing this as a signal actually kind of just a waste of time? Specifically because of that. All right, I've changed my mind. We're going to just do this directly. We're not going to signal it. We're going to say variable character sheet equals character manager dot get character sheet for the selected fig. Fig selected, I guess is what I call this. My naming conventions are so inconsistent. But that's also okay. I don't think that's the thing anyone cares about. This is why we hide the code whenever anyone comes in. We're going to get rid of this signal. Because the token doesn't actually have all the information we need. It could. But instead what we're going to do is we're just going to say character sheet dot update display, which is a public function. Then we're going to say character sheet dot preview equip card, which is another public function. We're going to say card res, and we are going to substitute in the selected slot. Selected slot dot slot. And that should do it. Let's see if that does it. You don't need a signal. Just do things. Sometimes you can just do things. Do what I say, not what I do. Dagger. Test this dagger. So what should happen is you see that the dagger is highlight on the character sheet. Bernardo the Bard. I'm not doing this on purpose, but I built a very short, there's 9 names in this list, just because I wanted to add the name thing back to the character sheets. I added them back, like a handful of names to this list, some of which are just random fantasy names and some of which are names of people in the community. I was waiting for people to notice. No one has really noticed yet. But, and now I just have to say it because the game keeps being super cheeky about this. Like yesterday it was Rhiannon the Ranger. And today it's Bernardo the Bard. I just can't. It's so good. Now I'm holding out for Nanigans the Knight. Okay, we got to crash. We got to crash instead. Oh, but that's because get character sheet doesn't work. Aha. Well, then why did our get character sheet thing work before? What did we do? We had get character sheet on tile. Oh, that is a different function. Oh, wait, no. Why didn't that work? Why didn't that work? Character name. Oh, it's not called... No, it is called character name, isn't it? Character fig. Invalid access to property. Oh, on nil. Oh, I passed a nil character fig through? That's weird. When did I do that? Selected slot. Fig selected. Oh, there isn't a... What? Oh, no, there isn't a fig selected. There should be a fig hovered, though. I could say fig by tile. That would be safer. Let's just say fig by tile. Cursor map. Oh, not cursor map. Wait, how do I do this? I guess it has to be fig hovered. All right, let's see if that works. No, I do need to get like one of those big public like fantasy name generated lists or something. I haven't decided what to do for that, but we're gonna need... I'm gonna have names. I'll probably have some like sub lists that are like class specific. Like who do we have right now? We have Rhiannon the Bard, Joffrey the Knight, Sapphire the Ranger, Margaret the Wizard. I just picked a bunch of random names that sounded old. So let's find a dagger or a grenade. I love that I'm doing... I'd say I'm doing this all for the daggers and the grenades, but I'm not. This is also going to be super critical for abilities. All right, so moment of truth. Hey! Look at that. As it is, so it is on the board, as it is in the character sheet. That's what we wanted. And that's what we got. What happens if I go back? All right, and I can even do this. I'm here on the ranger or the bard or whatever, and now I can just pop over to the wizard and do the same thing. That's pretty sweet. All right, let's try. So the next level test of this, let's give the ranger a glaive, and then now let's do the thing with the dagger. And so what we should do is we should actually see the glaive on the icon instead of the blank bow. Instead, we're going to crash. Okay, that's good. That's good. Invalid access to property or key equip slot on a base object of type. Oh, this is our refactor problem. I can't refactor in the engine anymore. I think I've accepted the fact that if I'm going to do a refactor, like if I'm going to go into a class and change a class's property name or something, I have to open Writer and do it in Writer. Or, you know, you don't have to use Writer at home. You could use VS Code. But I'm so sick of not being able to, like... GDScript needs, like, a find and replace, like, across the code base. Because I think it can only do it per file. Like, I think I'd have to open the file. And so I'd have to guess at, like, all of the references. Because, yeah, we're hitting this equip slot. So preview equip card, equip slot. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Oh, no, it's not supposed to be selected equip.equipres.equip slot. It's supposed to just be that. It's supposed to take the equip res out. Let me make sure there aren't any other cases where I do that. It's very likely that I do. That is going to be... There is something else we need to fix real quick then. Does equipment not keep track of its name? I guess not really, huh? Let's save that real quick. You don't know your name? Oh, here's a comment. Once again, the only good kind of comment is the to-do telling me that I actually need to record the slot the equipment occupies. I actually need to do it. So I will. All right, so equip slot. So add equip card. So we kind of need to add a slot here. So card is a card, and we need a slot, which is a equip card res dot slot. So we need to tell it here. Card res, card XP. What else do we have? Equip res. Add equip card. What does it think this? Oh, this is a new variable. Add equip card, equip page, equip res. Card res, card XP, level up, equip. Oh, this is actually not the right. This is actually not the right place to do this. We need to do it on load from card. Is that where we need to do it? I don't like this. I don't like what I've done here. You know what we could do is we could go around this. Let's look at the character sheet. Add equip card. Equipment has. These all use load from card, right? New page, new page. Does only the new page do load from card? What about serialization? Let's check. Let's double check. I'm very concerned about doing this wrong. Control Shift F can find replace the whole code base. Can it? How do you tell it to do that? Was that not Control Shift F? Is that just Control F? Oh. Okay, well, never mind. I'm just an idiot. It's not foolproof. Okay. Oh, I hate that Rider does not handle GLSL files. I had to get a different text editor just to read GLSL files when I was messing around with compute shaders. Okay, well, thank you for educating me. Control Shift F. Okay. I'm really not a hotkey warrior. It's kind of amazing. I never learn the hotkeys in the equipment in the software that I use. I almost never. All right, let's double check the serialization flow here. Deserialization, I mean. So when we are loading our pages back, how do we do that? Equip page.deserialize. Equip slot, save data, equip slot. Okay, so we're just straight saving and loading. We don't do any kind of load from card bullshit. So actually load from card, we could probably totally do this here. Let's call this load from card to slot. Actually, that doesn't make sense. It makes a little sense. This needs to know this. I'm just wondering where to tell it. Yeah, let's have this outside of the card part, the load from card part. Control P, what's that one do? Oh, it's like it's a way to bring up quick load. That's cool. I do like quick load. Is that quick load? Select resource. It's like any resource. I see scripts. I see files. Is it just listing everything in the res folder? No, it's not. It's just like a quick search, so I could search in here. Cool. Neat. Oh, maybe it's not GLSL files I'm thinking of, but I think it is. No, I think it is. There was some issue with reloading them. I don't know. I don't do shaders. I don't do shaders very often. We'll need to do quite a few. We were talking the other day about leveling up the graphical fidelity of this game going forward. So we're deserializing equip slot. Are we serializing equip slot? We are. Okay, so we just need to set that in the character sheet when we create a new card. We just need to... All we need to do is just record this. So we can say... We can just say... New page. Oh, new page dot equip slot equals equip slot. Where are we getting this equip slot from, though? Ah. So this is when we add the card. But it's just 0. That doesn't work, does it? We just say slot. That's for when we add the card, not when we preview the card. But I guess it needs to be the same for both. So you just say equip slot is slot equals slot. Because we need to define it, because there's options. It could be more than one. We also need to go down to preview. page, which is a little trickier. Hold on a second. Equip slot. Equip slot. We're just going to do this like this instead. Go down here and do the same thing. Okay, we're already doing it in the preview, which is good. And now the only question is, are we actually calling these? You got a plugin for GD shader files for Writer? Oh, okay. There's some issues, but it sounds cool. I hope not to write many of my own shaders. I am hoping to just use shader assets. Because what we're really interested in doing in this game, I think, is doing some like screen, some like final screen kind of stuff of like just some beautification, doing like scan lines or like maybe a little chromatic aberration. Do like, you know, the usual set of like stuff. A little bit of bloom. I'm hoping not to get too deep into that. Hey, welcome back, Rhiannon. Oh, very nice. Fancy water shaders are fun. Fancy water shaders are fun. Your water's looking pretty good. For you, I would not go too crazy because you've really got this nice retro look. So it's like, I feel like whatever you need to do needs to look like it could have believably been done on like an N64 or like a Dreamcast or something. Or an old PlayStation. The No Jewel pixel shaders. That is probably what we're going to do because we love friend of the channel, No Jewel. I'm going to call them a GodotCon Luminary. GodotCon Luminary and friend of the channel. All right, so selected care.add equip card, card.token, card token.card. Okay, now we need to pick a slot. How are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? Let's just pass the slot token in, huh? We've got it, don't we? We've got it for now. Let's just do that. Pass in the different tokens. Because any card token spent should... Well, no, I guess it doesn't... Oh, shit. Okay. No, because we're doing this somewhere else. So we don't need to do this here. What we need to do... Equip card. Add equip card. We're already previewing it. So how do I know... I guess we do need to take a slot token here. So we can say, well, we can just take the slot. We can just say equip slot, equip card, res.slot. My partner always makes fun of me. Whenever she's here and I'm streaming, she picks one word that I say like 60 times in the stream, and then she just makes fun of me. They used to be like chunks, you know. She'd make fun of me for like, oh, you do any good chunking today? Today's the word of the day today is slot. Very clearly. All right, so we're gonna pass in the equip slot from above. It's annoying that we are going to need to know this. I actually don't know how we're going to do this. Because we don't actually know this in most cases. I guess it can just be null a lot of the time. I guess it can be null. Now we gotta go look at anyone who triggers the card token spent. I feel like we're in a little trouble in terms of the preview too. Where are we doing the preview thing? On card token added, card token, preview card, card res, equip slot 0. That's correct. So on the initial preview, we use whatever the base slot is, whatever the first one is. That's on me to put them in the correct order on the card resource. And then what we do is we have that move where we change it, but we only change it at the level of the preview. I'm actually a little concerned about this. Character sheet on tile. Preview equip card. Let's go here. Where do we store this when we do this? Oh, there's a whole bunch of this shit that happens too. That's concerning. Oh man, we store it in a dictionary. Shit. Okay. Why are we doing this on the preview? That's crazy. What if we change our minds? How are we correcting this? Card name equals equipment.kit. Preview. Oh, okay. We're not changing it. We're not changing it. I don't know why that caused me. Never mind. It's okay. Everything's okay. I don't know how to read. I never learned to read. No, Joel has shaders to apply styles to text. Just saying. What are you just saying? No offense. All right. Okay. So whenever we update display, we fix all the frame stuff anyway, so that's fine. And then when we add the equipment, card, we're just making sure that if we swap the equipment slot, like while we're in preview, then when we finally go to place it down, it actually gets placed down in the place where it should be. That's really all we're trying to do right here. Which shouldn't be that hard. I'm making it hard. Equip card. I'm making it more difficult than it needs to be. You're just teasing about the manually drawing the text shadows. Look, the shadows, I know the shadows can be done with an offset. I'm still not convinced the highlight's good because of the choices that I've made. I have enough problems with the text field nodes. The text field nodes are pissing me off enough. But yeah, I'm not out here trying to like put a shader on a text field just so I can like apply a shadow to it. That would be the smart thing to do if I intended on supporting localization. But for buttons, I don't know. I'm all right. I have some beef with the way that Godot scales its fonts too. I have a hard time getting that to look pixel perfect. Not gonna lie. There's probably ways I could configure it to like avoid like aliasing or other things that like happens, or anti-aliasing or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes the simplest way is the best way. All right, so we're making this equip page. We're giving this equip page a slot. We're doing this when we add the card. Not before. So as long as I do this here, and then we update the display at the end, which should fix everything. So we should be in good shape. I'm applying that. Equip page. New page. Equip slot. Okay, so as long as everyone is passing the slot into the function correctly, we should be in good shape. Should be in good shape. So on card token spent expects this extra parameter. So what I need to do, and it only really expects it if we're talking about equip cards. So I can pass a null. You can make the argument that my way is more performant technically. Yeah, I don't know. In game dev, there's a million choices that are like, I could do the easy thing now that might cause me problems later. Or I could do the super involved thing, or the more involved. Let's just say more. Let's not like overdo it. I could do the more involved thing. Again, I'll just say more. I'm not going to say way more. That's more work, but might save me effort later. And it's like making those choices of like the simple thing now that might cause me trouble later, or the thing that's going to cause me trouble now that might be better later. And it's just that. And every single one of those, every single decision in a game usually involves that to some extent. And you can't know what the correct choice was until, you've shipped the game. It's tough. It's tough. I'm actually fighting my internal. My temptation is to always do the more complicated and involved thing that might save me time later. I'm like consciously avoiding that with this project. And it's gonna hurt. But the only way we're gonna do localization is if this game either comes out and makes like $1 bajillion for me, or enough money that warrants me being like, let me try to get the rest of the Steam market. Or I get like a publisher who's like, we would like to localize this game into these different languages. And at that point I'll be like, well, fuck me. I guess I'm rebuilding the whole UI. And you know what? That's okay. I will be miserable if I have to do that, but it'd be a good problem to have. It'd be a good problem to have. That's for sure. All right, let's go get rid of this to-do that I put in here. Equip page. To do, record the slot the equipment actually occupies. We're doing that now, so good job, us. Now we just need to use it. So when we're in the environment map, we need to update our signal. The card token spent needs to include a signal, or it needs to include an additional equip slot. Equip card res dot slot. Online, everyone will yell at you for making the wrong choice. Yeah, exactly. Whichever choice you make, they'll come in and they'll be like, you really should have done this the other way. That's pretty much always true. Pretty much always. All right, so now we have this longer signal. So do signals let me emit with only part of the functionality? Or with only part of the parameters? Oh, when you emit a signal, you just get an array of arguments? That makes sense, actually, because it's not like it can know. Interesting. So it's really So really no one is enforcing the parameter list of signals. That's interesting. Good to know. So here we'll say equip card res dot slot dot null. And this will be the answer for the vast majority of these cases. And by vast majority, I mean hero card res. Hero card reses don't need to know what slot they're in. But if it's an equip card res, then we actually do need to know what slot it's in. And so what am I going to do here? I'm going to say selected slot, aren't I? So are we going to need to select a slot no matter what? Oh, you know what? You know what I should do? I should enforce selected slot not to be null, but to be equip card res slot dot null. That way it just passes through with a null. That's good. That's what we're going to do. I was like, how am I going to do this? Although, no, it can't ever be null for an equip card res. Really. Not in this case. I mean, I guess it could. I guess it could. I guess it could. If it's null, then what it's saying is we just want to... We just want to pick whatever the default is. Which way do I want to do this? I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. I'm really not. If not card token, slot by tile cursor map. Selected slot equals slot by tile cursor map. Initially, this is the main no matter what, right? Like, oh, this doesn't hold a slot. This holds a token. F me. Okay. So that doesn't work the way I think it does, but that's okay. So yeah, that's how I'm going to do this then. I'm going to just pass it along, and if it's null, great. And if it's not null, we'll figure it out. Or we'll just use the value. So we'll do this. We'll pass in. Here this just says equip slot. This is what comes in through... Oh, damn it. No, this has to be a token. This has to be a token. Slot token. And then what we can do is we can go down here. We can say select a card. We can say variable equip slot is an equip card res dot slot. We can say it equals slot token. Well, let's do this a little differently. Let's say it should be card res dot equip slots zero if slot token is null, else slot token dot slot. That's sufficient, I think. Hopefully I don't get a weird access error on that ternary. I don't think I will. All right, chat is popping off here. If the type check fails on the params, the connect function just doesn't run. Oh, interesting. Surfaces an error, but not necessarily a crash. Yeah, I agree with the LSG. The null should be... The fact that certain of the types don't... null is not valid is super weird, considering, like, everything is a class. That's annoying. Okay, is this gonna work now? Yeah, so now we always pass, we either pass a token or we pass null. If we pass null, then we just default to the equip cards main slot, which is correct. Unless the slot token has an opinion, in which case that's what we use. That's okay. That should work. It's gonna crash. It's gonna crash immediately because I forgot some detail about this, but you know, we'll figure it out. It's guaranteed to crash immediately. Rusted dagger. So we can put this in either of these slots. You know, it'd be cool. It would be cool if a dagger had like 2 kinds of attacks. Like if it had a melee attack and a ranged attack. That might make the dagger just too strong. But it would be cool if it was like discard on use if you threw it, and you could only keep it if it was in your, if like you melee attacked with it. That might be kind of cool. All right, let's see if it crashes when I drop it. Okay, it does, but we need to clean up these icons here. What if I undo? Undo is gonna break. Undo is gonna break because get cards at level doesn't work anymore. Our undo redo stack is broken because the card manager doesn't work anymore. Because we've changed the way that we save and store cards. So I need to think about that. We need to dip into the yards querying system a little bit and actually use that for this part. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. So let's set that aside though, and let's go back here. And so when we drop, so what we need to do is we need to grab the, we need to do this. We need to do this stuff. Slot by tile. We need to do this whole cleanup phase. Anytime we drop a card, that's an equipment card. Okay, if card res is hero card, that's one branch. If card res is an equip card. Cool. Where do we actually do the card drop? When do we actually do the thing? I guess let's look for card token spent. Oh, that's a separate function, right? So down here we have if card is an equip card res. So way down here we can just say this stuff. We can just do some cleanup. That should be all the cleanup we need. If a card drop has failed, do we need to do anything if a card drop has failed? I don't think so. Oh, wait. So this isn't gonna work. Card dropped. If bound... Oh, if bound tiles dot has. Okay. If card res. Card token spent. Card token. Selected slot. Oh, wow. I accidentally built this in such a way that it works when we're on the off tile. Like we're on the offset tile. I shouldn't say it until I've tested it, but I think I built this in such a way that this should just work. If we want to like drop the dagger. So if I go here and I'm like, I want the dagger to be on this hand, it should work. It's going to crash, but it should work. Big selected. Goes fig by, yeah, okay, so it doesn't work because of this. So fig selected, goes fig by tile. What I should actually do is instead of making it be fig by tile, I should make it be fig hovered. That's kind of gross, but it should work. But no, I hadn't written in a way that it would just automatically work. I almost did. All right, wizard. Hey, I've got a dagger wizard. What if I give you a shillelagh now? All right, I've got a wizard with a shillelagh in one hand and a dagger in another. That's what you like to see. I might use this radial menu for some other stuff. It would be kind of neat if you could like radially pick which action you wanted to take. Which there are, well, I guess that's not true. In case you accidentally give like your ring an action or something. Never mind, that doesn't work. But that kind of works. Kind of works. And then if I put this magic orb here, it's going to replace my dagger, which is now here. All right, it's kind of working. Wow, everyone can hold a buckler? I guess that's fine. I guess that's the point of the buckler, is that it's like a lightweight shield for people. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Why can't I play my bard card? We did some good stuff today. I'm gonna fix a few of these things before we're done. Signal failing. Take it easy, Nanigans. It's not a signal failing. It's a somewhere in here we're not happy. We're failing somewhere along here. This doesn't make sense. Oh no, if not fig by name has else. We're failing somewhere here in the card drop. It could be a signal connection is failing, but that seems unlikely. One of these conditionals is not being met, I think, is probably what's happening. What are the errors? Oh, there are errors in the console, you say. I didn't even look. Oh, no, you're right. Signal failed. Cannot convert argument 2 from int to object. Oh, because you're a slot. No, we need to not be passing you as a card token spent emit. Oh, no, it can't be like this. It needs to be the actual token, not the slot itself. I think I tried switching this and then realized I could not. Good call. Good call. We were just talking about that. We were just talking about signal failures. Emit, null, emit, null. Yeah, because I wanted it to just be the null version of the slot, but I realized we're actually going to use the token. I feel like I could do either. I feel like there's a reason I wanted to use the token, and I don't remember what it was, but that's what we're going to do. That should work now. It was top of mind. It was. Not the top of my mind, though. My mind is empty. I've reached some degree of fatigue. Okay, so I want to put a spear here, because I want to see what this looks like when we have a weapon already in. the spot when we try to swap another in. So if I have this dagger, so if I go over here, yeah, I can see the spear. That's pretty cool. And you can see if I move to replace the spear, it brings the spear page up. So I can look at the other thing. It would be kind of cool if it showed the dagger one at the same time, but you could look at the dagger here probably. Or I don't know. There needs to be some way that I can scrutinize a dagger card. There's some more tool tipping that we need to do. You could also just equip it, see what it is, change your mind, and undo it. So, I don't know. But I would like to provide that information. Give me another offhand weapon that I can test. Grenade. Check this out. Hey, that worked. Oh, but it selected the wrong square. That's funny. So it selected the wrong square, but you know what? I think I might be able to live with that. Where would it do that? That does that in the environment map. That's an on-card dropped thing, I think. Selected tile dot set cell. Selected tile cursor map. No, we don't want to do cursor map. What we want to do is we want to do fig selected dot tile dot character tile. That should fix that. I think that's the last little issue with that particularly. Is there something I could test with? Let's just put the spear on them again. Grenade, good. So we can either replace our spear with the grenade or we can put it in our offhand. And that works, and it's selected the ranger, which is great. And then if I was to play a ranger on my ranger, will it actually let me upgrade? It did. Okay, so we fixed that as well. All right, we're looking good. This was a good stream. We didn't do the thing I said we were gonna do, which was like come up with a list of ability cards, but we did something more important, which was fix some critical bugs and also come up with functionality that will work great for setting the ability slots. So we basically have a radial menu that we came up with, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat. So, successful day in my book. All right, we're gonna raid into a buddy of mine who's a much smaller streamer who's working on a really cool procedurally generated platformer in Godot. I don't get to raid him pretty much ever, so we're gonna do it. I hope you all come with me. They're part of like the local game dev scene here. I'm gonna spell his name right. It's not radial yet because it just shows you one thing, but it will be. It will be radial AF. I wish I could take you with me, everyone over on the YouTubes. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of me in the future. We're going to be doing some playtesting in a few weeks. And then hopefully in another month or two, I'm going to get a Steam page up. We'll get a public build on itch, ideally, if I can get the web build to work out. But yeah, we're looking good. We're getting closer and closer to a gameplay loop. It's kind of scary. Then I'm going to find out the game is just not fun. But you know what? That's the thrill. That's the thrill. And the danger. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you're coming with me on the raid, ship them if you got them. Otherwise, hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you next week when we get back to it. Bye.